Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of Reviews. Now today we're going to be looking at two artists, both from Escapee Studios here in London. We're going to have David Armstrong on, where we're going to be going through his art station, as well as Matteo Giorni. Apologies if I didn't quite get the name correctly there, but we'll be looking through his showreel on Vimeo. So let's go ahead and start with David's work. So this is David Armstrong's showreel here, so let's go ahead and play. I'm going to guess roughly from the edging here, unless it's just the video is not loaded yet, that this is more of a real-time renderer. Let's look and see what we get. Okay, let's skip back there. Now it's quite a nice looking model here. The only immediate thing that's really standing out to me is more of a texturing issue. This looks like a pretty generic procedural material. It's not really interacting with the edging, just looks like a generic material on top. I may be wrong, there might be something further on that explains that. But let's continue playing and see what we have. It's nice to be able to see the controls like that. Again, this would lead me to think this is more of a real-time render situation, unless this has been nicely comped in somehow to show the controls. But it's it's really nice to see rigging wise. Okay, let's jump back there. Now, this does look nice. It's nice to see the rigging controls. It's a good looking model. It could maybe benefit with having more of these controls in action. It was a simple kind of up and down motion, which is fine. But I can see it's got the claws and everything here. It would perhaps be nice to see them opening and closing and manoeuvring as they would in a normal situation. And it's nice. This is a really nice way to present it, with having just simply up at the side here what was done, what software you did it in. The reflection balls down at the bottom, they are quite nice. You don't need to have them on the entire time, but that's just personal preference. They don't take away from anything. The only thing I do have a problem with here would be, it says here modelled. I have seen no wireframe of this model, so immediately if you're going to be applying for a modelling job, this wouldn't count for anything because I've not seen any of your modelling work. Really quickly to do, just put in a quick wireframe pass. If you want to have that modelling thing in there, you're going to need it. Otherwise, if you're just going for the rigging and the texturing, yeah, all around quite nice, perhaps a bit plain. This does look slightly low resolution on this, but it's a really nice looking opening piece. There we are. There is a wireframe, it's just not been included in the reel. So that's a shame, because immediately if I was looking at this for a modelling job, I probably wouldn't go in and look for specific breakdowns. No idea what's going on here. This looks a bit insane. Yeah, there's no reason for that to be that dense. So okay, like I can understand maybe in here adding in the extra density, but this is insanely dense. I think I'm going to guess from the way things look and from this particular layer, this to me looks like there's been a lot of Z-remeshing done on it, and I think this is just frozen out models from ZBrush. Perhaps they've been modelled nicely, then taken in for adding in all the, so you can see where there's this slight wobbles where you've got these panel gaps. Yeah, I think that's why this area is so dense, because this has had all these little bolts and everything put into it. Okay, so up next we have Matteo Giorni's work here. So let's go ahead and have a look and see what we've got. I don't know if you've ever been to Westfield Shopping Centre, but I get PTSD looking at that just from the crowds in there. So it's nice to have this obscured by the big train here. Okay, so clearly this has been comped in here. It's just a little bit more saturated, I think. If you look at colours aren't my strong point, but there's just something between the saturation of the sign here and this is just slightly off, but it's very subtle. It's a nice comp. It's a bit procedural looking, perhaps. I like the body of the train, that looks nice. There's just something in here that just looks a little bit too procedurally generated. It doesn't stand out too much, but it's just, there's something. It's for this one I'm having to be quite picky because it does look really nice, so I'm trying to find smaller areas. Yeah, that all looks quite nice. Just again, there's something about this is really standing out to me. that's a nice pass in there. Now it's a nice touch having, I can see the reflections being brought in this window over here, which is really nice. It brings the train more into the scene, but I'm not seeing it in the windows. You've got these super reflective surfaces around here and here. I know the windows are meant to be a bit dirtied up, but even in this area here where the window wiper's been, it's very blurred out. There's a section here I think that's meant to be quite reflective. Some small nitpicky things, but it's a shame that they spent the time to add the reflection into this side, but they've not done it to the actual model. Oh, that's nice and subtle there. If you watch across this section here, you can see, I'll try and pause it as it spins, there we go. There's this nice dripping effect that's taken place. I would say that it's perhaps, if I was going to be really picky, that you need to have it a bit more directional. It's good that it's coming down, but if this train's in motion when this thing's happening, it's going to, let me get my little drawing tool here. Now this is coming down, so say, I'm imagining this is the engine, so we have the air exhaust here. So yeah, it does make sense. You'd have the shorter drips in here. That doesn't look too bad. So I'd imagine this is stuff that's coming out and falling down. There's perhaps some kind of venting in here. So this is coming down. So it's slightly odd that there's quite there's like a line here where these seem to terminate, but there's no venting or anything here. So it would be nice to have them kind of coming over the top and spilling. And with these being longer, it doesn't matter so much with these short ones here, but with these being such long lines, if you're going to try and tell the story of what this train does, these should be kind of coming down, and as the train's moving, they're going to come across it because of the wind that's going to be pushing in the direction of the train. It's going to blow these across, because if these are particles coming out of some kind of venting system, they're going to be lighter. These more look like oil drops, so they're sticky and heavy, so it makes sense to go down. But for these longer ones, I'd want to have them stretched across, and it does look very generic, having everything just uniformly coming down all the way across the train. It'd be nice to have some variation in these ones, perhaps a slight breakup. You've got this kind of diamond shape here, but again the drips are still just consistently straight. They're not, they would come down and they'd deform as they came down, and then they'd be pulled back under. They wouldn't just come straight. It's subtle, but it'll add just that extra level of detail into the model. This is super procedural. I'd go in and just completely do that, a texture pass. You've got this section which is one of the most exposed to all the weather. There shouldn't be this, it looks just so nice and perfect. There should be edge breakup. There should be lots of dirt here that'll be kicking and spreading back across, because this is where all the dirt's going to be hitting. Really nice touches in the oil here, that looks cool. It just needs just a little refinement pass. Overall it looks fantastic. It just needs a wee extra bit of love just to really bring it up.